This is Isese Talks with Ategbe.
Aboru Aboyi. I welcome you guys to this episode of Isese Talks. This episode of Isese Talks is dedicated to Mary Ifatoyangan Adiola in London and to every other listeners. She sent me an email a while ago asking me to talk about worship, like from the point of view of an Onisheshi, what is worship? Because in her email she said majority are still stuck in the other way of with the concept of worship from their previous religion. So she said I should talk about the concept of worship in Isese. So if I'm going to talk about worship in Isese, we need to understand our purpose. And it's not just purpose, because purpose is unique to who we are. I'm looking for the right word to qualify my point. If I'm going to talk about worship, we need to understand how we came to be in Ile Aye, like how we humans came to be in Ile Aye, and our purpose of being in Ile Aye. Let's put it that way, like how we came to be in Ile Aye and our purpose of being in Ile Aye. Because if we don't understand this, we will not understand the concept of worship in the Isese community. And as I go further into this, I want you to know that this is my own opinion. So you might meet somebody and tell you whatever it is that I'm saying is wrong. They don't agree with it. You need to understand that Isese is diverse. Isese is not a religion that box everybody under a concept. It gives space for diversity. That is why I always say we are unique to who we are as we walk through our path in Ile Aye. So just because people might not agree with whatever I say doesn't mean they are wrong. And just because they don't accept it, whatever I say doesn't mean I'm wrong. You understand? So this is if whatever it is that I say, it is motivated by facts that are documented by our ancestors. So when we want to talk about how we came to be, we need to understand that we exist as humans here in Ile Aye. But in the spiritual world, which the Yoruba people call Orun, we exist as the soul. So when Obatala, when they say Obatala creates, Obatala don't create this physical humans you are seeing in Ile Aye. Obatala creates the soul. So we are still coming to how the soul and the human body, will still get there. So, but Obatala creates the soul. After Obatala creates the soul, it is said that the form of civilization in Orun, the spiritual world, which is Orun, the form of civilization is what we Yoruba people call Egbe Orun, and it is a case study on its own because it is one worship on its own. So in this Egbe Orun, when I call it a civilization, it's not just one Egbe Orun. There are more civilization inside of that civilization, just like we have many continents, and when we pick one continent, there's a lot of country inside one continent. So this is how you should see this same Egbe Orun I'm talking about. So once Obatala creates a soul, he finds an Egbe Orun that fits that soul and puts the soul inside. The soul starts coexisting with other soul in the Egbe Orun, and it is said that this Egbe Orun in the spiritual world is led by the Iyalode and Ajagunna. Iyalode being the female leader and Ajagunna the male leader. So the purpose of this soul is when a soul says, okay, I want to journey into Ile Aye, because Yoruba will say Aye Loja Orun Nile, meaning that Ile Aye, where we live right now, planet Earth, is the market. The spiritual world, which is Orun, is the home. So the soul, it is said that when a soul is ready to journey into Ile Aye, the soul must go through some certain process And this process is what is going to result to the creation of the Ori, which is the manifestation of Olodumare I've always talked about. So, when the soul start this journey and the Ori is created, the Ori is a collective creation of the 401 Erumole and Obatala, which is the one we refer to as Ajala. Alamo ti mori omo tuntun. When they say Ajala, Alamo ti mori omo tuntun, it means that Ajala, the molder that molds the Ori of a newborn. So, I won't really go into the process of this, how this Ori came about to be, but the point is that when the soul wants to come to Ile-Aye, the soul goes through this process with the 401 Erumole to create the Ori, and inside this the Ori is what they encode whatever things that is affiliated to the paths that they chose to, follow in Ile-Aye. So the soul itself is the one that activates a human body. When the soul comes into Ile-Aye, it activates the body. And it activates the body and come along with that Ori, that manifestation of Olodumare. So now, the purpose of the soul in Ile-Aye is to actualize everything that has been encoded into that Ori that the soul is bringing into Ile-Aye to activate the new body that is about to start a life in Ile-Aye. So the worship, and inside this Ori, like I said it's a collective work of the 401 Erumoles, and Obatala just molds the parts for them. Like they said, Ajala Alamo ti mori omo tuntun. Ajala, the molder that molds the Ori of a newborn. So the purpose of this, of this human now that has come to be as a result of the soul that came to Ile-Aye with the Ori to activate that body, is to actualize everything that is encoded into that Ori. That is the purpose. So now, where does worship comes in? Depending on the part. I'm an Onisheshi, but I need to be blunt with you guys. Depending on the part, depending on the part that is encoded into our Ori, because I say we are unique to who we are, and this is as a result of the Ori, what is encoded into it. Some people don't even need to worship. It is not that it's compulsory you must worship, because if you worship finish, you now go back there and you will now be placed in heaven or in hellfire. No. According to the concept of Isese, if there is hellfire or heaven, everything you experience it here in Ile-Aye. You are not. If you are destined to experience such, you would experience it here in Ile-Aye. It is not after you die, because once you die, that union between the body and the soul ends. The soul ejects itself from the body and journey to the next wherever phase the soul is meant to go to, and the body ceases to exist. So these are two different, according to the facts in Isese, the soul and the body are two different entities, because the body itself is the only way the soul can exist in Ile-Aye. Yes, it's the only way the soul can exist in Ile-Aye, and the soul itself is the one that activates the body. You see, so but there's no talk about this in a deep way that we won't talk about. We won't touch Egbe Orun, but I won't touch Egbe Orun. So to just cap everything I've been saying, worship in Isese is not really about worshiping one God so that the God can favor you. No, worship is in Isese is knowing the things that have been encoded into your Ori and engage in the worship so that they can facilitate you, so that you can walk to, they can facilitate your journey towards your path in Ile-Aye. They just help you facilitate it so that because Ile-Aye is a very complicated world. You understand? And it's competitive. The way it is created, it is competitive. So and some people don't even need this worship. Some people get it right. That is why I said we are unique to who we are. But some people, they still need this spiritual, guidance, spiritual intuitive message as a result of worshiping the Orisha. You understand? So our worry is different from each other. Some people, they wake up in the morning, they pray to their Ifa, they pray to their Orisha. Some people, they don't do all these things. They just feed their Orisha once in a while. And some people don't even have it. They don't even have it. And things are working for them. But the most important thing is that we need to understand that all these things has to do with your faith. You understand? So now, everything I've explained now is in my own point of view, is that our purpose of worship in Ile-Aye is more to worship ourselves. Worship in Isese is just worshiping yourself when we look at it. But because humans are very weak in nature, the Irumolers have noticed this. So now they are giving you something to worship yourself through. So now when you worship the Orisha, it puts your faith in a way and makes you unconsciously worship yourself. Because the Ori that they are because when they worship Orisha, when they worship Eshu, when everything, they are still tracing everything back to your Ori, because it is your Ori that would make everything come into reality. Even if Eshu put Ashe there and if your uncle put Ashe there, it is still your Ori that is coming back to bring everything into reality. If a Babalawo cast Ifa and Ifa says this person will die, the Babalawo will not say it, because all those type of Ifavas, they don't even chant it. But one thing the Babalawo will do for you, if that Babalawo learned his work properly, is that he would appease your Ori. He would do Ibori for you and ask your Ori to extend your time in Ile-Aye. That is what the Babalawo do. So everything they are doing, everything we are doing, everything still comes back to our Ori. So worshiping in Isese is not really about worshiping one God somewhere. It is the worship of yourself, so that part that you have chosen in Ile-Aye, you can accomplish it. Because the soul came to Ile-Aye to do something. But because the body and the soul is two different entities, our body, the soul met the body in Ile-Aye. So now, it is the body that is conscious of Ile-Aye. The soul is just there in the spiritual. That's why they say the soul and the Ori is in our subconscious. It is only our body here that is in the physical. So in order for us to get something from that spiritual, we need to engage in these spiritual activities of feeding Orisha, feeding this, so that spiritual synergy can come into reality. Because whether you like it or not, there is a balance between the physical and the spiritual. So we can't break the balance by making spiritual things happen in the physical. You are breaking the balance of Ile-Aye. Fine, you can dream and see spiritual things, you can go into trance, but seeing it physically is impossible. So that is why we need to engage in spiritual worship and spiritual feeding, to make our subconscious energy synergize with our physical body, so things can things can happen. It's much more complicated than the way I'm saying it, but I just need to make it as simple as possible, because this is not like a course or a class whereby we take a class today, come the next day. It's just a podcast. So I hope with this few explanation, I have given you an insight and understanding to what worship is in Isese. And if you still don't understand, you can always reach out to me on my Instagram page. You can reach out to me via my email. You can reach out to me on Facebook. All you just need to do is type Ategbe Movement. You would see my page on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Thank you very much for listening to this one. I'll see you guys on the next one. Ireo.
This is Isese Talks with Ategbe.